This reflection is from chapter 1, verse 1 of the Bhagavad Gita, the moment before everything begins. Have you ever noticed how silence feels right before a great change, when the air itself seems to hold its breath, waiting for something inevitable? That's where this story opens, not in peace, but in the stillness before a storm. Welcome to Pursue, where your soul meets predictability. Here we don't rush through the Gita, we drift through it slowly, quietly, letting each verse show us something about ourselves. Throughout this video, there will be only a black screen. You don't need to watch, just sit back, close your eyes, imagine, and let your mind wander. This space is for reflection, not distraction. The verse begins not with Krishna, not even with Arjuna, but with a blind king, Dhritarashtra. He cannot see the battlefield, but he can feel the tremor of destiny through the voice of his charioteer, Sanjaya. "O Sanjaya," he asks, after assembling in the holy land of Kurukshetra, "what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do, being eager for battle?" It sounds like a simple question, but hidden inside it is everything: attachment, fear, denial, and a father's uneasy love. Dhritarashtra says, "My sons, Mamaka, and the sons of Pandu." He divides his own family with those words. The war has already begun, not with weapons, but with separation. And perhaps that's how all wars begin, not on battlefields, but in the unseen corners of the heart, when we start saying mine and theirs. Can you feel that moment, that fragile point where love and fear mix into possession, where justice bends under bloodlines, where dharma becomes blurred by desire? That's Kurukshetra, not just a place in ancient India, but the landscape inside every human being. In this scene, the blind king sits in his palace, eyes covered by darkness, but mind filled with vision. His charioteer, Sanjaya, blessed by Vyasa, can see what the king cannot. Imagine the sound, the earth trembling under the weight of armies, flags fluttering in the early wind, conch shells rising like thunder, the sun glinting off armor and fear. Dhritarashtra's heart must have tightened. Somewhere deep down, he knew the field was sacred. The very ground of Kurukshetra was called Dharmakasetra, the field of righteousness. And he feared that righteousness itself would not side with him. That is why he asked, "What did they do?" It wasn't curiosity, it was dread, because in a place where dharma reigns, the unjust cannot truly win. Have you ever stood in a moment where you already knew the truth, yet still asked, hoping the answer might change? That's Dhritarashtra's voice, a trembling question to the universe that already knows its reply. And so begins the greatest dialogue ever spoken, not from confidence, but from blindness and doubt. The Gita doesn't start with light, it begins in confusion, because that's where truth becomes visible in the darkness before dawn. Every one of us stands at our own Kurukshetra, between what we know is right and what we wish were right, between duty and attachment, between truth and comfort. The Gita begins exactly there, not in victory, but in human hesitation. So as you listen, remember this: the blind king lives within all of us. the part that cannot see clearly, that fears the outcome, that still whispers to life, "What will happen to mine?" And just like Sanjaya's vision, the Gita's wisdom is here to open our eyes, not to the war outside, but to the one within. Take a slow breath. Notice what stirred inside you as you listened. If this story helped you pause for a moment, imagine what happens when you start listening deeper. This is Prasu, where your soul meets predictability. Subscribe to stay part of this journey into clarity, one verse at a time. And if this reflection brought you even a little peace today, share it with someone who might need it too. Until next time, stay curious, stay still.